Yeah, it was an interesting first half, wasn't it? I think our teams, in time, are going to get better. Some of our guys have just been reintroduced into the team, and sometimes that will have an effect in some way, shape or form. But I'm not missing the point that you're making. I fully understand that there was some 50-metre penalties, like you said, and some poor tackling, some poor intent, and giving them too many chances. So that's where we need to improve, and in time, hopefully, we can sustain and make sure that that's not an issue. So it gives us a really good chance now to have a break, albeit for a couple of days, but mentally still make sure that you're focused on what lies ahead. And this competition's tight, and you can't get carried away with things. I thought Gold Coast, they got a lot of injury today, I would have thought. And we might have got a little bit flattered as the game wore on because of the amount of injury that they got. So we're understanding of that. But what I do know is they're going to be a good side in time. And reflective of that, the last 3 times we've played here at Subiaco, we've kept sides down at 60 plus points, in around 60 points. And that is pleasing.
Joel Griffin's first half?
Yeah, I mean, look, it'd be fair to say that I keep him on edge and make sure that performances like that become regular. Yeah. So he led really well and kicked a couple of goals and was assertive, and he's playing on a younger ruckman, and I told him about that and how you go about that.
Is he starting to mount a case to you now for inclusion even when Sandy Lance is back in?
Yeah, possibly, yeah. We never discounted that at all. It was never a topic of discussion. It's just Kepler was going so well early in that forward position, and that was the reason why there is a lot of balance of the team is based on how many tools you can play.
What was the most significant change for you after half?
Oh, look, I thought there were some big hits today, and the intent, and thought the crowd really got involved on the back of our intent, and then we delivered on the scoreboard, and we put a lot of pressure on them, and forced them into making mistakes and then reacting quickly to it.
How important was Valentine's inclusion, especially that third quarter when the game was on the line?
Yeah, well, Main copped a knock early to his knee, so his intent is like a little Tasmanian devil, isn't he? A lot of the time, he just he's at everything. But that's the way you play, irrespective of whether you're 5'8" or you're 6'8", doesn't matter. That's how you should play. And I thought a lot of our blokes delivered in that way after half time.
You must be particularly pleased with Valentine, considering he's come off that hamstring injury. You hadn't seemed quite right since that Richmond game, but this time he really delivered and showed that hammy wasn't an issue at all.
Yep, and what we've got to be able to do is contain him and make sure that there's no reoccurrence of it. I thought, a lot of the time today I thought we were flying for the ball against each other. And it was a frustrating thing, but the more I think about it, coaching is that at least the intent and the purpose of wanting to make it theirs in the air is more certain. The awareness of who they're competing against is important, though.
Mark, overall for the game, though, would it be sort of fair to say that it was still, particularly in the first half, a sort of patchy performance? You play well in patches and sort of drop the intensity.
Yeah. I think it's indicative of bringing a lot of players into the team over the last couple of weeks that are still not fully wound up. Yeah, I put him and Roger across there after half time, and then Tendai forward, and I thought that was a real plus for the team that we were able to expose the game on the back of a couple of role changes. Yeah.
86 now heading into the bye.
Yep.
How do you think your place trying to lock up the final slot?
We can only beat who we have over the last couple of weeks, and I think it gives us a really good time as a group to make sure that we make the most of the situation, irrespective of who we play, and we put pressure on the sides in and around where we are. So it's going to be a tight run home.
A lot of people saying it's a very tough run home. Do you try to flip that and say, is it positive given that they're thereabouts all the sides of the plane?
Well, a lot of things change a lot of things will change in between now and round 24. And as we know, that if you have a look at across the competition, most sides made 4 or 5 changes on the weekend to their teams. Multiply that by the next 8 weeks and see what happens.
Would you say at this level, though, that you could make an impact on finals, this level of performance?
We're still, with our, Sandlands and Mundy, McPhee, Sub and Barlow still out of the team, and once again they've got to get match hardened, all those guys. He's got to. I'll be able to judge that a lot more as time goes on.
You said this morning you still haven't given up on top 4. That's still a goal.
No, I didn't say that. No.
Is the break of God
I asked the question. The question was how many games do you think you need to win to get in there? But I didn't say that. No.
Is the break of God then coming at this time now? And can you take us through how you'll use it and how you have to go through it?
What I do, I hope that the AFL understand that if the longest travelling teams, they should decide when they get the break. That's what I do. If you're looking at equality in the draw, it's these little things that matter most, and we need it right now. Yep.
And you have a couple of days completely off, did you say now? Or?
Yep. Probably 3 days. Yeah.
And is the break going to be as important mentally as physically?
Both. I think we've had some indifferent performances over the last 2 months, and we want more continuity in what we're doing.
Who do you think you'll get back after the break?
McPhee would play next week and Subin the week after. Barlow would obviously be available for selection. And then, Sanderlands and Monday are work in progress.
Will you look to play Barlow in the waffle next week, or just going to play?
Australian.
Mark, did you use perhaps 250th at all when talking to the boys at half-time?
Yeah, I did. When you play 250 games at this level, and somewhere along the line, there's some sort of acknowledgement about greatness and the way that you perform. And Pav's got a unique ability to be able to kick the goal when you need it to, create the decision that no one else sees, to be in the right spot at the right time. But I said the most important thing, Pav, from a team aspect, is the way that you embrace your teammates when they've done something well, and when you put your fist in the air on the back of not only what you've done but the team done, because everyone's hanging off you. And great leaders have that aura about them, and I think he's starting to really develop in that area. And he's really lifted over the last couple of weeks. He's had to carry the burden of a lot of casualty in and around our midfield, but then also just recently he's gone forward and really exposed the opposition. So I can't speak highly enough of him. And he has to aspire to make sure that in the end it's not recognised just as the amount of games that he played.
Would you look at giving players like Hayden, Samani game time in the waffle?
No, we'll cross-train them. We'll certainly cross-train them and make sure that they add to what they've done today. Yeah.
Is Roger still readjusting to being out for so long?
Yeah, but he thinks quick. It's so important, and I think in time, when he starts to get a lot more creativity into the way he plays, because his fitness is getting better, then I think he's going to be a good weapon for us.
It was like the mind was the same mind involved, the body wasn't quite getting there or doing what he's...
We all have that problem, don't we, Tomo?
And was Main battling a knee problem or a calf?
Knee, just a knock to his knee. Nothing, mate. No structural issue. No.
Nothing else injury-wise?
First time, I reckon, for 5 or 6 weeks, it appears that we're unscathed, but naturally things can happen in the next 24, 48 hours, but looks okay at this stage.